Ladies and gentlemen, friends and fellow TB tribes, thank you for clicking this video today as we delve into one of the foundational processes of the United States of America's democracy. In simple words, we are going to look at the election process for electing the President of the United States of America. This is a topic that often captivates our attention every 4 years, shaping the future of America. My name is Tashwin, and today let's dive on a journey together, exploring the comprehensive process from beginning till the end, uncovering the intricacies that define how the leader of America is elected. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for landing on my YouTube channel, and please click the subscribe and the bell icon button below to stay connected with me. Also, do comment on whichever topic you'd like me to present next. Okay, so the process begins with the primary election and caucuses. By the way, caucus means a meeting at which local members of a political party register their preference among candidates running for the office. So, these are the initial steps where political parties determine their candidates for the presidency. Or in other words, primary elections involve secret ballots cast by registered voters, while caucuses are more community-driven events where participants openly show support for their preferred candidates. And please do take note that these events play a crucial role in shaping the political landscape, narrowing down the field of contenders. Okay, now, then once the primary voting and caucuses have taken place across the nation, the parties will assemble, or in this case a better word would be convene, at their respective national conventions. This is where the delegates from each state officially nominate their chosen candidates. It's a grand spectacle where political supporters and party members come together to celebrate and solidify their commitment to a common cause. Right? Usually the energy at these conventions will be so intense and notable as candidates deliver acceptance speeches and lay out their visions for the future of the United States of America. Then, following the conventions, we enter the general election phase. This is the period where the chosen candidates from each party face off against one another. The foundation of the general election is what we call as the electoral college. And an electoral college is basically a system that often raises questions and sparks debates between the candidates for the common public to watch. And by the way, the electoral college consists of 538 electors, with each state having a certain number of electors based on its representation in the Congress, which is senators and representatives combined. So therefore, the magic number for a candidate to secure victory and become the President of the United States is 270 electoral votes out of 538 electors. Now, this is where it gets interesting, alright? In the United States, the popular vote is basically the total number of votes cast by individual citizens in an election. On the other hand, the electoral college vote is based on electors appointed by each state, with each state having a certain number of electoral votes, like I mentioned earlier. So the candidate who secures a majority of electoral votes becomes the president, regardless of the popular vote outcome. So we have to understand that the popular vote in each state doesn't directly determine the president. Rather, it influences how the state's electors will cast their votes. So, in all states except for mine and Nebraska, it's a winner-takes-all system. This means that the candidates who secure the majority of the popular votes in a state receive all of that state's electoral votes. It's a system designed to balance the interests of smaller and larger states at the same time, preventing candidates from focusing exclusively on heavily populated regions. So far, I hope you can understand the process, alright? Okay, good. Now, if you are following me right, then your next question now would be, but how are these electors chosen in the first place, and who are they? My dear TB tribes, electors from the Electoral College are typically party loyalists who pledge to support their party's candidate. Right? The number of electors per state is equal to its total congressional representation, with the District of Columbia also receiving 3 electors. Okay? And electors convene in their respective states to cast their votes. And it's these electoral vote count that determines the presidency. I hope you can understand that. Okay, anyway, the Electoral College system has its critics and supporters. Some argue that it ensures a balance between the interests of densely populated urban areas and sparsely populated rural regions, preventing candidates from concentrating purely on high population state, which is a good thing. On the contrary, others argue that it can lead to a situation where a candidate can win the popular vote but lose the Electoral College and still becomes the president, as we saw in some historical election in the past. But hey, the law is the law regardless of our personal point of view, so I leave that to you to judge. Alright, and then as we move closer to election day, candidates crisscross the nation, engaging in a vortex of campaign rallies, debates, and media appearances. It's the time when their policies, characters, and leadership styles are scrutinized and debated by the public. The intensity of the election season is felt in every corner of the nation at this point as citizens engages in conversation, attend town hall meetings, and cast their votes with the hope that their voices will shape the future of the country. Then, after all of that comes the main event, the election day. It is usually held on the first Tuesday of November traditionally. And this is the climax of this long democratic process. Citizens across the nation head to the polls to cast their votes for their preferred candidates. And trust me, the importance of this day cannot be overstated, ladies and gentlemen, as it represents the essence of democracy, whereby individuals come together to participate in the governance of their country. Then, when the voting is over, the popular vote, or better known as the votes casted by all of the people in each state, will now determine the winner of that state's electoral votes. Then, as the results pour in from different states, a picture begins to emerge of which candidate is gaining the support of the majority of states in America. News outlets, analysts, and citizens alike anxiously watch as the electoral map takes shape, signaling the trajectory of the election. But What if no candidates reach the needed 270 electoral votes? Well, it had happened before, and in such a scenario, right now, the election will be decided by the House of Representatives, which means that each state's delegation casts one vote for one of the top 3 candidates, and this process ensures that even the smallest state have an equal say in the outcome. It's a rare occurrence, but it has happened in America history before, underscoring the resilience and adaptability of the USA's democratic system. Just so that you don't get confused, please remember that the House of Representatives is a legislative body in Congress where representatives are elected by the people based on each state's population. So, the Electoral College, which I mentioned several times earlier, is a separate institution that determines the election of the presidents and the vice president based on each state's population. The Electoral College, on the other hand, which I mentioned several times, is a separate institution that determines the election of the president and vice president based on the number of electors each state has. Then, once a candidate already secures the necessary electoral votes, they are declared as the president-elect. The transition period begins, during which the incoming administration prepares to assume the responsibility of governing the nation. Inauguration Day will be held on January 20th, and it marks the official transfer of power, and the president-elect takes the oath of office, pledging to uphold the Constitution and serve the American people. My dear TB tribes, in conclusion, the journey from the early days of primary voting and caucuses to the final moment of Inauguration Day is a testament to the strength and endurance of the democratic process. It is a process that involves the active participation of citizens, the dedication of political candidates, and the careful balance struck by the founding fathers through the Electoral College system. And as we witness each election cycle, let us reflect on the significance of this process and the responsibility that comes with being part of a democratic society. Each and every American citizen's votes shape the course of the United States of America, and the peaceful transfer of power is a hallmark of democracy. And by understanding and engaging in this process, Americans ensure that the ideals upon which the nation was founded continue to endure for generations to come. Thank you for your time, and hopefully together we'll make the world a better place and may democracy thrive. If you find this video informational, then please do suggest it to your friends, and make sure to click the subscribe button and bell icon below. Additionally, kindly provide a comment suggesting a topic you would find informative and interesting for our next discussion. Thank you, and I love you all. See you again.